This video is all about making plant-based, non-dairy cheese sauces. This particular video was actually requested by a viewer by the name of Joanne Ruth 1168. She made the request several weeks ago. So in this video, what I'm going to do is cover not just one, but actually 5 ways to make a plant-based cheese sauce. So plant-based cheese sauces are out there, and they've been out there for many, many years. I mean, vegans have been using a cashew cheese sauce for so many years. But people have gotten creative and made other types of non-dairy, vegan, plant-based, and gluten-free cheese sauces. I want to remind everyone that everything on this channel is always vegan and gluten-free, so all of these non-dairy plant-based cheese sauces will be gluten-free and vegan, plant-based, and rest assured non-dairy. So the first cheese sauce I will discuss, I won't actually be making in this video because I made it in another video, and I'm going to encourage you to look at that video to learn how that particular recipe is made. That recipe is made using a commercially available shredded vegan cheese. So it's very similar to how you would make a dairy-based cheese sauce that you would use on mac and cheese, or let's say queso, or to put on tacos, certain types of bowls. The video where I make that particular cheese sauce, I'm going to link it in the description below, and I'll also include it as a link at the end of this video. But what the video is, I think it's called Puppy Bowl meals or dishes, and I made it for the Super Bowl, and it covers a variety of appetizers and dishes that you can make for the Super Bowl, but it was actually stylized for the Puppy Bowl because we always watch the Puppy Bowl in my house. But in that video, what I show you is how to make a cheese sauce that's very much like a dairy-based cheese sauce. And how do you do that? Well, what you do is you start by making a roux. And that is you melt butter, but in this case, since it's not dairy, I used vegan butter. You melt that and then you mix in flour. Of course, I use gluten-free flour, an all-purpose gluten-free flour. You mix that in, make your roux, brown it a bit, and then you start adding your milk. In my case, it's non-dairy milk. And then you add the spices of your liking, and you'll see that in the video. And then you start adding shredded cheeses. And again, in this case, it was plant-based shredded vegan cheeses. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to make 4 cheese sauces that are not utilizing a commercially made, highly processed packaged cheese. And I'm trying to meet a broad range of interest here. Some of you may want a plant-based cheese sauce that is low in fat or high in vegetables. And so I'm going to show you 4 different options here. One does include nuts. It's the standard cashew nut cheese sauce. It's one of my favorites. It's absolutely delicious. So I'll show you how to make that. And then the other, for those of you who cannot have nuts, the other 3 are nut-free. And one uses sunflower seeds. And the other, this sounds wild, but it uses cauliflower. And the 4th, it really threw me for a surprise because I think it's my favorite. It's absolutely delicious. I think I could drink it. Well, I mean, that's a little over the top, but I think I have ideas now how to use that to make a cheesy soup with this base. But anyway, it's made with potatoes and carrots. And yes, we've all heard about that. I never made it before. I did now, and I'll show you how to do it. It's absolutely delicious. Those of you who are trying to get vegetables in, let's say picky kids or picky eaters, there are vegans who don't like to eat vegetables, but this sauce is really delicious. Also in the video, I'll show you how you can use each of these sauces. I mean, you can use them all interchangeably. How? Let's say put them in mac and cheese. You could do a stovetop mac and cheese with them. You could do a baked mac and cheese with them. You can certainly drizzle them over vegetables or baked potatoes. I'll show you, I made a pasta, a protein-rich pasta with spinach, and I just mixed in some of the sunflower cheese sauce. I'll show you that, and then I'll show you some ways that you can use each of these cheese sauces. Another caveat I wanted to say about each of these recipes, some of them use oil, and I use a very nice, high quality, fruity olive oil for one of these recipes, and the other uses a tahini. And in that case, there's a pronounced tahini flavor, but the point here is to add some type of oil to give it a bit of fat. You know, in the cashew sauce and in the sunflower sauce, it's not needed because the nut and the seed each have a good amount of fat in them. So it gives that rich, smooth taste to the cheese sauce. With the carrot-based and potato-based and then the cauliflower-based, the fat is added to give that additional richness. I understand that some of you do not want to use any oil, so just skip it. But then, you know, keep in mind, it may impact the texture, if you will. You may have to add a little bit of extra water or plant-based milk. And as far as the plant-based milk, I use cashew milk that is nut-based, but please feel free to use the non-dairy milk of your choice. You can use a good quality gluten-free, certified gluten-free oat milk, which does, if it's just that ingredient, you know, it won't have the oil, but if you do one of these other brands, they do have oils in them. Another type of milk that I really enjoy is hemp milk. For its health qualities, and I enjoy the taste. You can certainly make your own hemp milk. I've done that. But you can also buy some that are pretty minimally processed, just including hemp and water. But anyway, I just wanted to make that caveat. How you change the milks will give you varying degrees of outcome of the taste and texture.
I'm going to start by showing you how to make the cashew-based cheese sauce. Soak 1 cup of raw cashews overnight in water, or boil the cashews for 10 minutes. After soaking or boiling, place the rinsed and drained cashews in a high-speed blender and add 3/4 cup of water. Then add 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, then 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric to give that yellow cheesy color. And to add umami, you can use 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, or you can also use white miso paste. Then blend the ingredients together until you have a smooth and creamy sauce. For purposes of this video, I'm storing each of my 4 sauces in a mason jar and marking them with the type of sauce that they are. But you could do the same, just store these in containers and use them as you would any cheese sauce. I think they should be good to use if stored in the refrigerator for about 3 days. I mixed the cashew cheese sauce with some of the carrot and potato sauce that I'll show you later in this video, and I made a gluten-free baked macaroni and cheese with a buttery cornflake topping. Yes, everything's dairy-free. Let's move on to making the sunflower seed cheese sauce. Start with 3/4 cup of raw sunflower seeds and soak them overnight, or alternatively, you can boil them for 10 minutes. After soaking or boiling, then rinse them and place them in a high-speed blender. Then add 3/4 cup of water to the sunflower seeds, 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, or you could use lemon juice, Then add 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of white miso paste, or you could use Dijon mustard. Again, to add cheesy color, I put in 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. I then blended everything together until I had a smooth sauce. While making this video for lunch, I heated some of this sunflower seed cheese sauce and I mixed it in with high protein, gluten-free pasta and some steamed spinach and added red chili flakes. Let's move on to making the cauliflower cheese sauce. Start by washing 1 head of cauliflower, and then you want to cut it into pieces, pretty small pieces, such that you can come up with 2 cups of small cauliflower pieces. Then you want to steam the cauliflower. I actually just microwaved it. I added a bit of water to my bowl and then I covered it and microwaved it for 2 minutes until softened. In the meantime, I added 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast to the high-speed blender. Then I added 1/2 cup of cashew milk. You can use your non-dairy milk of choice, but keep in mind that the higher fat content will create a richer flavor. I then added 1 tablespoon of tahini, but you could add 1 tablespoon of olive oil or perhaps avocado oil. I then added 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I then added the steamed and drained cauliflower. I added 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric for color and a few drops of hot sauce to add a bit of extra flavor. I blended all of the ingredients together. And then, as before, I put it in a mason jar and labeled it. I enjoyed this cauliflower cheese sauce on top of some baked potatoes with some vegan butter, salt, and pepper. And then on top of the cauliflower cheese sauce, I put some sliced green onions. Let's move on to what I think is my favorite of the cheese sauces, the potato and carrot cheese sauce. It's so delicious. And what you want to do is you want to start by cleaning and peeling a yellow potato, like a Yukon Gold potato. And then you want to dice the potato into smaller pieces, enough to equal about 1 cup of potato. Then place these in a saucepan because you're going to boil them along with the carrots. Then you want to clean, peel, and dice carrots, enough such that you have about 1/2 cup of diced carrots. Then add those to the saucepan with the potatoes. Fill the saucepan with water, enough to cover the potatoes and carrots about 1 inch above them. Then place the pan on a stove on medium-high heat and then boil the carrots and the potatoes for about 10 to 15 minutes until slightly softened. You want them boiled enough so that you can easily poke a fork into them, but you don't want them firm and you don't want them mushy. While the potatoes and carrots were boiling, I added 1/2 cup of cashew milk to my high-speed blender. Again, use the plant-based milk of your choice. To this, I also added 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. I then added 1 tablespoon of olive oil. You could also use avocado oil. Again, if you skip the oil, it will change the end product. I added 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. I forgot to mention, I also added 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I then added the drained and boiled potatoes and carrots. I blended everything together until it had a smooth, creamy sauce. This sauce has a beautiful orange color, almost like a traditional cheddar cheese sauce. Then I poured it into a mason jar and labeled it as I did with the other sauces. This sauce makes a nice queso, and you can use it as you would any queso. I have some ideas about turning this into a soup recipe.
So let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these sauces or all of the sauces, and let me know what you think. They all can be used in a variety of ways, and in fact, in the description below, I'm going to leave my email, and if you would like copies of recipes for any and all of these, let me know. I'm in the process of putting the written recipes together, but send me an email and I am certainly happy to send them to you. And I can also give you some suggestions as to how to use each of the cheese sauces. So let me know, as the viewer who requested this video, let me know if you have any particular recipe that you would like converted to a vegan and gluten-free recipe, and I'm happy to entertain it to make a video for you. Also, check out these next videos.